So you listen a song, and the successful ones are the ones that are constantly asking themselves and are changing the rhythm, changing the attitude. So therefore, there must be always a different interpretation. And that's my philosophy for Lamborghini.
You're from East Germany. How did you find that passion for cars there?
It was the Eastern Bloc and the Western Bloc, and so I was in the eastern part of Germany. There was a wall in Berlin, and the country was separated, so you just could travel more or less in this country. When I was young, there was very nearby, there was a Russian air base. I remember motorcycle sketches, helicopters, airplanes, whatever. Because probably every day there was a MiG jet fighter flying over. There were the cars like the Trabant, which is also a very funny car, and very, very few Western cars. That was my influence that I had, and that's why I sketched those things. And I created my own car magazines or my own car catalogs. So I taught myself about this. And I started then also the first exercises, to draw. Not just to draw a car, but to actually take a car saying, I don't like it, I do something better.
Customizing and modifying
it, and that was a starting point. Later on, I sketched my own cars, and then in our garage, using wood, I shaped my own little cars. So I put it the sketches, and I put it I didn't know about clay or whatever. I was always like this, a bit naive and pragmatic, so I took the pieces, and then I shaped the car. What was your path as a designer?
There was one key moment, and I think I speak about this a lot, but it's such a defining moment for me knowing that cars were a thing before. Because I always found cars kind of interesting, everything like that. But I was about 5 or 6 years old and traveling in my mum's Citroën 2CV. I remember another 2CV coming up alongside us, full of students, and they were hanging out the roof and they were laughing and jeering. And because we had the same car, they were just like, whoa, yeah. And I was like, that cars can create this reaction in people is just such a huge thing. It really opened my eyes that cars did this. It's not just a form of transport anymore. There's something more to it.
Is it already existing as a Hot Wheels?
No, not yet. No.
I think it would be cool.
What was your first car?
We have it prepared here, no?
I wonder why. Yeah, I wasn't going to mention there's a non-Lamborghini on the table. Maybe I've brought the wrong car.
It is an iconic shape, for sure. A great job of that company. In East Germany, when the wall came down and so on, of course, I was then also able to see Formula One. Formula One at that time was Senna. He was always driving this red and white car, the perfect, first car. Guy like me, so I was in love with the shape, very iconic, a small coupe, and it was my brother for 200,000 kilometers. Every CRX that I find, I buy. That's why it's the car.
That's why there's so many. Yeah?
Exactly. Passion and emotion is also, let's say, there's a special kind of working rhythm, of course, in Lamborghini. You need to understand this.
As a designer, you get your head into what's the brand's identity, and you adjust how you work. You train and you study to be that flexible, because you're not designing for yourself. You are always designing for someone else.
The designer needs this environment. But it is also part of the designer to be able to explain the idea. We have a clear definition of the design DNA, which is always about the silhouette of a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Even if I would not be in the design of Lamborghini, for me, this silhouette will always remain, I do believe, in the next couple of 100 years. Because this is the definition of a Lamborghini.
We don't have that visual reference, perhaps, but there's certainly a DNA to what we do at Hot Wheels. Something you see in a lot of Lamborghini products over time as well. I recognize that from sort of Countach and other vehicles too. Like it's actually such a subtle thing, but is present in sort of a lot of Lamborghini DNA.
On a car, there must be a rhythm, like in music. So when you drive, you listen to music?
I'm normally listening out for what possibly could be going wrong to my car. But if I'm not, then yes, I'm listening to music. I think I'm listening to sort of a lot of 70s rock.
Another brick in the wall.
Just a pure brick. I think Pink Floyd, I think my emotions are like, the music itself, absolutely beautiful. The Wall is such a good example of that.
In the early 80s, there was for me one band that came like a spaceship into the radios. That was for me Depeche Mode. My soundtrack has been always Depeche Mode. Every car that I designed, there was a song or an album of Depeche Mode around all the time.
So if we want Lamborghinis, it's Depeche Mode. Got it.
We can talk more about icons and stuff like this. Icons in the sense of something is recognizable as a shape. For me, what they are doing in general, it's a total timeless music. I want to see a band where there's the singer that is having character, that is, emotional, because you need to have also here one iconic with the voice that is outstanding, and like this you create then also the DNA of something new. So what did you sketch? I sketched another brick in the wall, and
you did, yeah. I was eyeing that up. I just sort of went a bit wild with it and started sketching.
Yes.
Just shapes. It was just a bunch of shapes.
It's a floating.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was toys that shaped how I became a designer. So a lot of what I do as well is really thinking about, how do I inspire people to find that creativity and to keep that creativity alive in them. A lot of the world is grow up, do this, forget drawing. And I feel creativity is always under attack. So whenever I'm designing a product now, it's very much like, how do we keep that and maintain that passion that I had as a kid and was inspired by these toys.
The 5-year-old Craig, is it still alive? I mean, the basic character that you have?
I was definitely brought up with a challenge to that creativity and my imagination, that wasn't good enough and that wasn't the way I should be. You should, study this and be serious and, don't laugh. Whatever happened on the surface underneath, I was still there because my mum said, you can design cars, that's a thing. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So whatever happened on the surface underneath, I was still there drawing crazy hotels with helicopters on wheels, with a boat off the back and, anything like that. So yeah, it's still there for sure.
I do believe as a designer, we need to keep always this curiosity because we need to stay like a child, even though now, I don't know, in responsible position, you cannot be the child every day, but you are still, no? If you have a DNA, then you are recognizable. And when you are recognizable, you become iconic.